Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to a very Oscar edition of the Seaman Cinema Sit Down. That's right, folks. We did a movie review for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri just before. I got 2 more left in the can that I got to get done before the Oscars hit tonight. So, with that being said, you know the drill. I want you to pull up a chair. I want you to take a seat. Tonight we were talking about a movie that pulled on my emotional and journalistic heartstrings. That's right, folks. We were talking about The Post, Steven Spielberg's big movie that is sweeping up all the Oscar nominations it can sweep up. Another fantastic addition into the Best Picture category. A lot of good things to get into with The Post, but we're going to try to do it in 5 minutes. That's right, folks. This is going to be a 5-minute non-spoiler review. And we're going to start where I hate starting and normally do start. We're going to start with the bad. I don't have a ton of bad about this movie. Spielberg delivers a real solid flick. It's kind of hard to keep the main theme of the movie interesting when you're just trying to find things in papers and then you can put them in papers so people can read more papers. That concept of, all the reading and all the work that goes into it can kind of slow the movie down a little bit and can kind of get sort of boring. Wasn't for me, which makes me want to just jump right into the good. The writing in this movie is really, 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 really good. Very, very well put together movie. I mean, Steven Spielberg at the helm, directing with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. You really knew you weren't going to go wrong anywhere with this film. But the writing is really, really well done. They tell the story about the Post, and this is about the Pentagon Papers after the White House bans the New York Times from continuing to release anything from the Pentagon Papers. The Washington Post, a small mom-and-pop style newspaper, became the national mark of the Washington Post because of these Pentagon Papers. They were just about to go public, but they were still very small, and the Pentagon Papers and what happens blows the Washington Post up into what the Washington Post is today. But the thing about this movie, and I said it a little bit ago, it's not very often that the journalists get to be heroes, and this is one of the situations where the journalists were the heroes. What the guys did with the Pentagon Papers in releasing them, even though there was a lot of backlash coming from the White House, it's what you're supposed to do as a journalist. It is your journalistic duty to tell the truth and get the truth out there if you know the truth. So the writing, the way the story is told is just really, really well done. I mean, I was near tears at the end of the movie just watching Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep and their whole group at the Washington Post go, no, we're going to run these papers. And then going to the Supreme Court with the New York Times and getting to hear a judge look them all in the eye and go, the news and the papers are for the governed, not the governors. We never get that line without this movie, without these Pentagon Papers, without this story. And the writing and the telling is so good. Meryl Streep, do I need to say it? Meryl Streep's phenomenal. She's always phenomenal. Love Meryl Streep. Always well-deserved of any Oscar noms that she gets. She just needs to walk on set, and you can pretty much hand her a nomination. No doubt here she plays Kate Graham, who is the daughter of the founder of the Washington Post, and it's such an awesome story. And she does such a great job of being in this world that's manipulated and run by men. And she is this lone woman who never thought she was going to be there. It was going to be her father's, and it was going to be her husband's. And when those things don't quite go her way, now she's in this very interesting position. And it was a cool way to tell her story because at the beginning you kind of see where she gets kind of flustered and backs down to the men early. But in the most critical decision of the paper's history, of journalism's history, the most critical moment, she is the one that makes the decision. And the decision ends up being one of the most historic decisions that we ever have. I mean, without the Pentagon Papers and the Washington Post, who knows if Watergate ever happens. And it's Kate Graham who comes front and center to make sure that it does. And watching her story unfold and the way she kind of turns from being not so confident around all these men and making decisions to making the big one on her own. Loved Meryl Streep in this film. Loved Kate Graham. Tom Hanks, who plays Ben Bradley, the editor-in-chief at the paper. I mean, Tom Hanks is phenomenal. You know, he is journalism 101, man. He is just like, you know, we have a chance at these papers. We got to get them out. And I love his drive. I love everything about him and what Hanks does. Really, really solid performance. You know, supporting cast, Sarah Paulson, Bob Odenkirk, you know, Bradley Whitford, Matthew Rhys. I mean, on and on. The supporting cast around these two behemoths is so strong. It just fuels everything. Spielberg did a great job. You know, camera work, it's all top notch. It's what you'd come to expect from Spielberg. The movie flows very well. It's paced very well, and it is executed across all platforms. The score also really good. Score kind of blew me away, right? It's like I said, it's a movie that can kind of get boring because of the subject matter, and it kept me on the edge of my seat, man. The score in this movie kind of makes it feel like a thriller, and at times it definitely is. When those times hit, man, it works so well. And that is 5 minutes. The Post, fantastic movie. Absolutely loved it. That's all I gotta say, folks. You know, I think I hit just about everything we had to hit. That's it, man. I really enjoyed The Post. Hit those comments below. Let me know what you thought about The Post. You know, what was your favorite part? How good was Meryl Streep? How good was Tom Hanks? Who from the star-studded, you know, supporting cast that I talked very little bit. I mean, Sarah Paulson, Bob Odenkirk. Who in this group, you know, Bradley Whitford, who did you like the most outside of the heavy hitters? You know, what about the movie did you like, did you dislike? Let me know. Hit those comments. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about the video. If you're not part of the squad, hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell right next door so you get an alert every time I drop a new video. For the C-Man Cinema Sit Down, that is another Oscar movie in the can. I am the C-Man, and I am signing off. Peace!